Charlie Parsons for Boxing Social in association with William Hill and Empire Fight Store. Delighted to be joined here by Tony and Charlie Sims. We've just seen Conor Benn's ring return after a long period. I suppose just firstly, in a couple of words before we go in depth on it all from you both, how good does that feel to have that out of the way?
Yeah, that's what I stressed to him, that I wanted him to fight before going into any big fights. And obviously the Mexican was a lot tougher than anyone expected. Like, if you was in the arena, you could hear the bombs hitting him on the chin, and fair play to him, he held up to him. There was times when I didn't think he was going to get through the rounds, but he was a tough man.
It was interesting because I was speaking to my dad before the fight, and we was going through it, and he said to me, "This guy's really tough," and I was like, "But how tough? Like, is he?" And he was like, "No, he's really tough." And I was like, "Oh, okay." I think a lot of people just look at people's records and think they're going to be an easy blow-over fight. And this guy came in, he looked like he was forged out of steel, his chin. Took some big shots. I mean, I don't know. I was in the corner, so I was up close, and I just don't know how he was standing in there at 10 rounds, after 10 rounds. It was crazy.
Really tough probably isn't even a good enough adjective for just how tough he was.
Extremely durable. Had a good engine. He looked like he was tired at some point. And then I was looking at you thinking, oh, we're going to put our foot on the gas. Even when Conor caught him a couple of times, I think even Conor thought, I'm not going to put everything in, all of my energy into trying to take him out, because I think he knew he was in there for the duration, which was smart boxing really. But yeah, it was good to get 10 rounds in, and we've got to start looking at those big fights now.
Yeah, definitely. That them 10 rounds would have been so valuable to Conor being out of the ring so long, and it's all very well if we got him somebody else that he blew away in a round or two, but they was invaluable, them rounds, and because you actually forget how hard, when you're out the ring for a long time, you actually forget how hard them rounds can be. And as I said earlier, he hit the kid with everything, but he was still standing after 10 rounds.
The funny thing is, right, another really funny point during the week. So obviously he did the matchmaking on this. I come in, fly in. I go, "Have you seen his opponent yet?" And he goes, "Yeah, he's over there." And there's this massive geezer, and then there's a small guy, and I'm like, "I was at him," and he's like, "Yeah, the big one." And I was like, "Oh my God, he's massive, this bloke."
So let's talk about that matchmaking then. It was always on paper, it seemed, as a bit of a surprise. A 6'1", 154-pounder, never been stopped previously, had something like 30-something fights at that age. Looking at it in hindsight, after the performance he put in, potentially a bit of a risk, actually, but you valued those 10 rounds. It may not have gone 10, who knows, but going into that, you feel like those 10 rounds are more valuable than anything?
Oh, without a doubt, they're really valuable rounds, and he just really needs to do. I mean, don't get me wrong, it would have been a lot nicer to do 4, 5, 6 rounds and then finish him, but as try as he might, he weren't going anywhere, and as I said earlier, the rounds were valuable. I mean, looking at it in reality, I mean, we really only knew about 2 weeks ago we was definitely going to fight. So this kid got called up like a week ago. He boxed not long ago actually, so he was in shape. And there weren't that many opponents to choose from, to be honest. And he was a good opponent.
Let me ask you, moving forward, Chris Eubank Jr. posted his reaction to the fight. You probably won't be shocked at what I'm going to hit you with here, but it was a yawning and a tired face. But all systems are go. Eddie said he wants to make that fight for December the 23rd. It would be monumental, wouldn't it?
Oh, without a doubt, because the both of the dads' names, everyone wants to see that fight. I just wonder if Chris is actually tough as Rodolfo, to be honest, because he didn't look that tough in the first Smith fight.
One thing for sure is that Conor Benn hits harder than Liam Smith, whichever way you want to look at it. So, I don't know. And that guy looked bigger than Chris Eubank. That's for sure. That is for sure.
He's a freak of nature, that geezer, I'm telling you. Because you know what? When you get tall geezers like that on the weight, you look at their leg, like when they get on the scale, you look at their legs, and normally they ain't got no legs. They're all top half. When I looked at his legs, he's got big legs as well. So I don't actually know how he makes the weight, to be honest.
More analysis of a Mexican from Sinaloa than ever before.
Definitely, yeah.
Charlie, I suppose now for you, you're going to be straight on the blower to Ed and Frank. They told me this week, actually, that post-fight they will be putting in a monumental offer to the Sauerlands. But sort of regardless of the venue and whatever happens with this sort of ongoing appeal, the offer is going out for the fight. December 23rd is the date. You're ready to go.
Yeah, I mean, Eddie's made it clear and Frank have made it clear that they're going to send an offer that they can't refuse this week. So we're ready. We know what we want to do. We know how to make this fight. So we just need to get it on now. It's been spoken about for so long. And Conor deserves it. He deserves a big fight, a big payday, and a big win. And honestly, he needed to get the rust off this tonight. He needed to get the 10 rounds under his belt. That was a tough opponent, but that will do him in good stead for that fight. And I think he beats Chris Eubank Jr.
Finally, from me, I'm going to ask you for your predictions on the fight. You made the comment that Chris Eubank Jr. isn't as tough as that man over there. How does Conor Benn and Chris Eubank Jr. go if they clash December 23rd?
My man wins it by knockout.
KO.
Guys, always a pleasure. Thank you for your time this week. Look forward to seeing you next week. Thompson Opataya. Not much sleep back in the gym for you, Tony?
I know, yeah, straight back into the gym as soon as I land.
Charlie, final message?
Yeah, it was really nice to be back. Thanks to everybody for coming. Thanks for everybody supporting. It's been a tough year, but it was. You're all right, Parsons.
I don't know what happened there.
Jesus.
Yeah, just want to thank the Florida Commission as well, who, treat us really well this week, and they've been fantastic, and also the fans over here have been fantastic as well.